So you had to transform Microsoft when you came into the job and before, both culturally and economically. What advice do you have for me? Advice do you have for our colleagues that also are a very confident but 131-year-old company that may even have stronger inhibitors to change?
Before we come to strategy or technology and business success, what is the underlying sort of core strength, right? Like, for example, on the sense of purpose, Oliver, I said, if Microsoft disappeared, asking that existential question, if we disappeared, would anybody even miss us? And then go back and answer that crisply, and then to use that to drive the products, the technologies, the strategies.
You had always in Microsoft the people that you needed to drive these types of changes in the companies? Or how did you think about renewal of leadership, including both not just people, but also leadership style and tools and training and the way people work?
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing that I feel is super important to do is to use, I would call, structure to help facilitate change. So, for example, at Microsoft, when we got organized into multiple business units with P&L accountability, for a period of time, it worked beautifully because it became very structured and efficient, except it had one problem, which was a fatal problem, which is most of those business units were designed around categories that were not long lasting, right? So if you're saying, oh, I'm the server business unit, except that nobody wants servers anymore, everybody wants cloud, which, by the way, has that lower margin, you needed to move the main team to the new business, which has no margin. And it can't be an incubation on the side. So the structure was inhibiting us from making that transition. And so we became, for example, again, functional. So Microsoft right now today is a completely functional org. I'm not saying there's one structure that is best for all time, but recognizing times when structure is an inhibitor to change, because incentives matter. So you need to make sure culture, incentives, goals all align.
How do you recharge? How do you get energy?
It's a struggle, and it's an everyday struggle, because I think there were so many habits that you pick up where even the commutes, I mean, I would have never thought I'll say this, but I miss my commutes because there were periods of transition. There was time when there was real separation between work and your home, and right now walking from sort of my office to my home office, which happens to be my bedroom, to my to my living room or to my dining room doesn't give me enough transition. So I would say, but at the same time, being together, being able to eat lunch with my family at home has been a rewarding experience. I never did it in the past, whereas now I get to do it on a weekday. We're social creatures. We like to be about in the world. And I'm hopeful that we will get back to some normalcy soon.